I just come in there and look for knockoffs, and that's not the case. I'm actually a sharp, smart fighter.
So, well, I'm here. Who wanted to fight me?
I really don't care who's in front of me. I don't feel like no fighter can beat me.
My goal is to demolish everybody, to be honest. Everybody that's in my way. The pinnacle to any weight division is to have all of the belts, all of the titles. Body work,
Welcome to Body Work. Welcome back. It's Michael Rogers. Welcome to Body Work Boxing. It feels so good to be back. First, I want to give a heartfelt Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Cookie Monster say body work. Salute Cookie Monster. How you doing? But it's also a special day for me for a whole nother reason. This was my mother's birthday. So I wore my navy blue in honor of her today. That was her favorite color. Spent a lot of time thinking about her. Reminiscing on that beautiful energy she had, But a beautiful day, man. A beautiful day. I've just been thinking about, man, last night and everything that's been going on with boxing and the landscape and, how media is treating everything and how everybody's actually talking about boxing. AC, salute. And Cookie Monster say, sounding great. I appreciate you. Thanks for that mic check, Cookie Monster. And I see you right there, AC. I'm gonna pull you up in a second. I'm just gonna run through this intro, then we can cook, man. But it's a couple things that and I try not to be a Debbie Downer. I definitely want positive vibes today. I want positive energy today. You say happy birthday to your beautiful mother and happy Father's Day. I appreciate that, Cookie Monster. I really do. I appreciate that. But I want to highlight some things first before we start cooking and lay some things out there and kind of set the tone for the conversation. Because once again, I'm not going to go into the curriculum. We all know what gaslighting is. We know that it's ever present, out here in these boxing talks. But I want y'all to really pay attention, man, because I look at it as from the goggles of a boxing purist. I want longevity for the sport. I want it to grow. I want sustainability for it. I do like, different flavors coming in the game. I like changes that advance the sport. Just like in football when they made some changes, when they started that challenge flag, that was a game changer. It was something that was called for. It's a lot of things in boxing that's called for, and I like the advances, in the sport. I like new players in the game, and every day a boxer retires, and every day a boxer goes pro. So it's just like life and death. Every day a baby is born, like Scarface, my favorite living rapper. He says, man, every day a baby is born, and somebody dies. So it goes on, and that's how boxing is. One of the things that bothers me, if you would allow me to just talk on the 20%, because 80% of it's good. Young dudes making more money than they ever been, being more fly than they ever been, achieving life goals more than they ever have, becoming world champions, defending their titles, stamping themselves as far as that thing that we have when we say you're not truly a champion until you defend it. you know, doing those type of things, you know, people breaking into, you know, breaching title eliminators and, you know, being next in line for their shot at a world title. You know, there are always advances. So that's the 80%. The 20%, it really entails the conversation around boxing. And I really wanted to sit back and look and see, because all of the narratives, when I was trying to say, man, y'all don't respect Richardson Hitchens, man. Y'all, this dude gets no respect like Rodney Dangerfield. I'm like, man, put some spec on his name, man, in my Birdman voice. But that really wasn't happening. And, you know, I know on YouTube and in the conversation, a lot of people like to shove certain fighters down your throat. You know, there are a lot of goalposts moving. You know, there are a lot of little like caveats to this and asterisks to that and excuses made for this. And I was just like, man, just give these young guys a fair shake. The guys like Richardson Hitchens, who always put on for their city, always put on for their state. You know, he survived TMT. That's a documentary in itself. He got over there on Matchroom, a foreign promoter, and was able to rise the ranks. You know, no matter how he did it. Never fought a dude with an upside down record. He was not fast tracked, does not have a band of brothers, does not have a father out here that's actually, you know, promoting for him and being the voice. He's just getting in the ring and using his phalanges to do his thing. And so I'm like, yeah, the style always said that he was the better version of Devin Haney, even though he separated himself. He's no longer in the Devin Haney. You know, I used to see them as two different sides of the same coin. I beg to differ now, you know, and it's proof now. You know, I always said he had a little more power. I always said that Devin probably went to the body a little bit more, probably was more fleet of foot. You know, I thought that Richardson Hitchens had more balance, had more power, you know, could be a little more aggressive. You know, I never really considered Richardson Hitchens a runner. So now I'm separating them. They're no longer two sides of the same coin. Something that I had a theory about, but then theory and practice was displayed when he went in there and did his thing against George Kambosos. And it's funny that the narratives, you know, we can start with some things that like Paulie Malignaggi said, you know, and these are the points here. These are the things that I came up with to make it all make sense. Kambosos is Devin's legacy, but he's unacceptable for Hitchens, right? And I knew they was going to do this. Richardson Hitchens knew that they were going to do this. And let's start with the example. This is the example. When I say he's the legacy, he is the one. Devin Haney fought one time to get undisputed. He fought one time to undisputed. First of all, he shouldn't have been down at 135. That's another thing I give Richardson Hitchens credit for. And when guys like Keyshawn and Devin, when they dropped down, campaigning in weight classes that they had no business in because they were bigger than that, and staying because they were too big, he never did that. He didn't do what most guys do when they shrink down. And look like, because Keyshawn told you, he said, listen, in the amateurs, we were used to just getting down to the lowest weight we can to where you would be the strongest and campaigning there. Richardson Hitchens did not do that. You can hate me all you want. That is a fact. He didn't do that. He could have shrunk down to 35 and made his legacy fights at 35 and started his camp. He didn't do that. He went straight to 140. Secondly, he did it under the IBF with the rehydration. So when Devin Haney clowned him about the Gustavo Lemos fight, I'm like, you the last one to be talking, because he did it with a 10-pound rehydration. He don't even want to balloon up as much as you. But long story short, Devin Haney fought one time to get undisputed, and it was against Kambosos. So his legacy will forever be tied to Kambosos. So he was okay for that. He also gets credit because they say as a champion, you don't get credit until you defend it. He defended it against the same guy, and he went 24 rounds with this guy. So Kambosos gets all the credit for stopping Teofimo Lopez. I'm not stopping for beating Teofimo Lopez, knocking him down. He got a knockout. He got a knockdown early on at the end of the first round, I believe. And then he got knocked down in like the 10th. And then Kambosos showed up and showed out in the championship rounds to edge him past Teofimo Lopez. And that was his lightning in a bottle. He went on to have several other fights. He got hands and feet put on him by Maxie Hughes, and Maxie Hughes didn't get the nod. Previous to the whole Devin thing, he had got Mickey Bay. You know, he had a couple guys, you know what I'm saying, on his resume. But his claim to fame was the 2 fights with Devin, having lightning in the bottle against Teofimo Lopez, upsetting the apple cart, ruining the plans when Teofimo Lopez jumped out the window on Top Ring and decided that he wanted to be defiant. And he got spanked several times since then. But it was okay for Devin's legacy to get undisputed off of Kambosos. It was okay to stamp his legacy by defending his championship against Kambosos. It was okay because Kambosos shared the ring with Teofimo Lopez and put, you know, that one in that lost column on a Teofimo Lopez, who was 2-time lineal. It was okay for that. It was okay to share the ring and be worthy enough to fight Lomachenko, and Lomachenko stopped him down there. But he's not okay for Richards and Hitchens. And what I heard, when I heard Paulie Malignaggi and I looked at the title, I didn't even watch the video, but I looked at the title and it says Kambosos is cooked. And see, this is what we do. This is what I don't understand about boxing. And this is what kind of frustrates me. I understand the people that's for legacy. I understand that people that want to get likes, people want to, you know, it's your advertisement. You want people to come in the building. But then the things that you say, they really have no substance, or you move the goalpost. And that's really something that I really don't like, because they actually move the goalpost. You move the goalpost when automatically, instead of championing, instead of celebrating the guy who got the victory, you just resort to saying that the other guy is cooked. I'm not with it. I'm not with it, man. Like it's you know, instead of because Jose Ramirez, nobody said Jose Ramirez was cooked, but we knew Jose Ramirez was cooked before that last fight. That wasn't the narrative. The narrative after that was, oh, Devin Haney, he comes back, he shows he still got it, he showed a different style. They churched it all the way up. That's why when you look at this thumbnail, I say that this is what they are. This is what these guys are. This is what they are. I'm just gonna ramble through these points, and then I'm gonna run through these points, and then AC, we gonna cook, man. We gonna cook. This is why I said this. This is why I actually said this right here. Two simps in the truck. They are professional goalpost movers. Bill Haney, he has a cult certification. He has the cult certification. He has galvanized the cult. He has programmed the cult. He has his cult. They have more than a cult. Like, they actually have an official cult. That's why I say, don't charge me. Hey, you ain't got to pay me nothing for this, Devin. Y'all need to start your own Kool-Aid, man. Because everybody's drinking this Kool-Aid, and I don't understand it. But Bill Haney has developed a cult. They have a cult-like following. That's his thing. That's Bill's thing. He has the cult certification. Devin actually has the clout certification. And he just doubled down and said that whatever his father said, he stands in line with it. So yes, they are more than joined at the hip. You know, Bill is the mouth or the loudspeaker, and Devin is the guy that just follow along with the mastermind plan. Now I salute everything that Bill was able to do. My problem is the fashion in which he do it, and then also the double-mindedness of which he does things. Talking about he don't want to do this to the black man. He would never do this, like with the kid trying to take the high road. I heard his biggest knee pad wearing, throat coat spraying, tonsil jewelry displaying fan come out here sounding so dumb with this fake on code, off code, toggle switch type shit here. And I'm going to get into that when we cook. But I do want to point something out. I realize where Devin got this new style. Because after the fight, when they had Bill Haney, and they was trying to flag him down. This dude was running so fast out the arena. I said, why are you running? Because Richards and Hitchens, outside of the F Bill Haney, F Devin Haney, F the Haneys, and the same thing we just said, the F the Haneys, outside of the F the Haneys, the F Bill, the F Devin, and the P word that he used, outside of that, the whole post-fight interview was very classy, was very humble, he was very calm, and I think that was him putting on his promotion hat when he got loud, because if you look at the whole thing in its entirety, he handled everything professionally. He said, listen, I don't take nothing personal with these guys. I know it's promotion. If I have to go to, they asked him about Devin. If I have to go there, I know he said something about me going to 147. He said, I'm sure he'll give an opportunity. Very smart answer. Very political, very smart answer. Like, man, I think I said it before. He's smarter than a lot of these other guys. I think the IQ inside and outside, I think he's smarter than a lot of the other guys. He just don't get that push. We talked about some of those reasons. But when they caught up to Bill, first of all, you had to have track shoes on to catch Bill. But he was running out of the arena so fast. And I'm like, hold on. The crazy thing is, there was a list that Devin Haney and them had, that Bill had, of 10 people. Guess what? Richardson Hitchens was not on it. He was nowhere on the list. And so Bill goes to the presser. And I'm like, hold on, Bill. I'm like, you out of pocket because, one, you got the pom-poms on for George Kambosos, just like you had the pom-poms on for George Kambosos when he fought T.O., giving them all them inside information, talking about T.O.'s marital problems and how he's down here and where his headspace at, giving the enemy all the tips. I guess the enemy of my enemy is my friend, some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't agree with, you know what I'm saying, at all, but I don't subscribe to, shall I say. But then you do the same thing over here with Richardson Hitchens, right? And you're siding with George Kambosos and his father, right? But after the fight, you're running. And guess what? Bill and Devin's favorite moniker is they say everything but let's fight. Richardson Hitchens did everything he was supposed to do. Devin Haney goes 24 rounds with a George Kambosos. Richardson Hitchens stops him in 8. With a body shot, doing that body work. You ran out the building. They had to catch up to you, and you said damn near everything but let's fight. You said how many times Richardson got hit and all this other stuff, and he stopped that man in better. And he fought that man better fashion than you. He walked him down. He stood in front of him. Prestigious jab. The delayed right, the body work. He did everything he needed to do. He put on that clinic. He got touched a couple times, but guess what? He took risk and he went to the body. Things that me, Crush, AC, we were talking about when we did our breakdown earlier this week. I'm godly proud of Richardson Hitchens. But for Bill to run out the building, and for this guy, think about it. You should be having other business. The Haney should be having other business to do right now. It should not be clout chasing off of Richardson Hitchens. They are a man without a land, and Richardson Hitchens was not on the list. Bill and them said that they got honorable mention. Well, he wasn't on the list. Go find you some business. Teofimo, man, it's almost like they went there to that fight and they saw that motherfucking clinic and they don't want to have shit to do with it. T.O. came out there with the little serpent necklace, the shades, you know what I'm saying, looking fly. I ain't like the shades, I ain't gonna lie, but the necklace, the serpent necklace, the whole black shit, he got the different shades, cool. They get in the ring, they don't even seem that confident. They were like, hold on, man, this Richardson Hitchens, neither one of them seem confident, or is it just me? They look like, oh shit, we just seen this man do some shit we didn't think he could do. We ain't seen him like that. Why? Because they ain't been paying attention. And right now, let's be honest, man, Devin has no juice. Like, yes, I understand he's the bigger name when it comes to him and Richardson Hitchens. He is the bigger name. But if he is the A side and he has DHP, what's the weight? Where's the contract? And everybody talking about, well, it's going to be kind of hard because T.O., and then when it comes to T.O. and Richardson Hitchens, it's going to be kind of hard because him and T.O., they have the same manager and all this other, they talk to the manager. He said, typically, we don't like to do that. He said, but I'm pretty sure something can be made. Why? Because Richardson Hitchens looked so good in the timing and the performance of that. They both came into conclusion. Everybody was in agreement that now was the time for Richardson Hitchens to start getting the big fights. But Teofimo act like he ain't won it. Bill practically ran, dog. And he said everything but let's fight. Ain't that odd? Everything but let's fight. And so for people like Paulie Malignaggi to just do a thumbnail and a title and to put all the emphasis on Kambosos being cooked. And then I seen people in comment sections and all that talking about, I'm still not impressed. You know, Hitchens, blah, blah. It's just like, man, you all are some hypocrites out here in boxing, man. When it's somebody you don't like, you just point the finger and say, oh, the other guy was cooked. When it's somebody you like, you make every excuses. When it come down to matchmaking, y'all guys are y'all are softer than them footies with the ball in the back. It's like y'all look for Egyptian cotton. Y'all look for Egyptian cotton when it comes to somebody your favorite fighter can fight. But I'm at a crossroads. I'm like, well, if DHP got this hit list, and T.O., if he's off the list, and Boots, he's off the list, and Norman already got a fight, and Ryan got, you know, he going through something with his hands, I guess it's going to be Rolly then. But I don't understand why you would clout chasing Richardson Hitchens and why you won't just let that man, other than the clout that you can get from having all these interviews and all these sound bites, and get a mic in front of your face right after the man put on a good show and you do nothing. You do nothing but belittle the man's performance and say how much he got hit. These are the things when people be saying, oh man, Devin get all this hate for no reason. I be like, really? For no reason? For no reason at all, right? That's gaslighting. But salute, AC. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Just to piggyback off of what you just said, I hope I'm not getting too far into the debate, but did you see that attempt at codism that Devin Haney was trying to put on when it came down to him and Richardson Hitchens, to whereas they were trying to say that Richardson Hitchens was out of pocket for calling out Devin the way he called him out. And I was like, are you motherfuckers crazy? When the fact is Bill was just over there trolling the man just at the last press conference, you're going to try to gaslight me and say Hitchens was wrong for calling you a nigga on live TV and all of this other type of stuff? Are you fucking kidding me? So I'm just like, bro, y'all got to get it together. He put a fight out there for you. You said 47. I don't know. I don't know. You're not telling us of a fight you got at 47, and you're not telling us of a fight you got anywhere. So if the man want to fight you at 40, what's the problem at fighting at 40?
Well, see, the thing is, right? I'm like me as a fan, just like you. He's established at 40, and I think that if they do it, since he has the IBF, you know, I think that he's going to be subject to that unless it's a unification. So he's a little bit at a catch-22, even though he looked good. He looked good, right? And he looked way better than the last time, because this time I think he said he didn't cut so much weight right before the fight. He got a nutritionist and he did the right. I could tell earlier on. I could tell a couple weeks ago when I seen him. I said, oh yeah, he's on weight. He was already on weight like weeks out. I seen him, right? But this is the thing. Richardson Hitchens is at the mercy of the big names wanting to fight him, right? So unless Eddie and his manager, unless they come up with a plan and, you know, they got a bag for him, they know that in order for it to be lucrative for everybody else, he needs a dance partner, and that dance partner needs to be a bigger name. Now, to this guy Reggie, we're not letting Richardson Hitchens off the hook. We're not letting Richardson Hitchens off the hook. We want to see a unification. Like the Subriel Matias fight, they got Subriel Matias and Puello. We got the winner of that coming up. We also have Gary Antoine Russell. We want to see that fight. This must be your first time here. We want to see that fight. So that's not what we're saying. We're going by what the fighter said after his fight. He's been popping his noise off at Devin Haney. So for them to come out of the blue acting like he wasn't saying this, but guess what? They were trying to little boy him all this time. Say, oh man, they did the same thing to Gary Antoine Russell. He did the same thing. Devin Haney did the same thing to Gary Antoine Russell. He had so much stuff to talk about the deal about Mr. Gary Russell Jr. and how that didn't happen and that whole fugaziness. And when he lost to Mark Maxayo, he talked smack about Gary Antoine and then said, "What?" And then he had his call saying, "What do he have to offer?" They were doing the same thing. They were doing the same thing to Richards and Hitchens. Oh, what does he have to offer? And he's just clout chasing. And he's just this and he's just that. So Bill went to the press conference and he was heckling and had on pom-poms for George Kambosos. You know what Richards and Hitchens did? He kept a poker face. He went in there. He handled business. He stopped Kambosos in devastating fashion, put that man on his back pockets with body work. He answered all of the questions. And then when it was his time to call somebody out, he said what we want them all to do. He called out who he wanted. There's nothing wrong with that. Nobody's letting them off the hook. But you as a cult member, I guess, you're going to try to say that we did, and that's not what we're doing.
No, that's not what we're doing because, number one, I would classify myself on this channel as the resident Devin Haney fan, but I'm not an only fan. What I'm saying is this: for Bill to go over there, just to piggyback off of what Body said and double down on it just in case you slow, what Bill did by going to Hitchens' press conference and back in Teofimo Lopez, when you know your son wants to fight at 47, what was the reason for that goofy shit? And now that Hitchens turns around and calls him out, a dude like you, Reg, you up here saying that fight makes no sense. It's a backwards move for Haney. He ain't gaining shit from it. The point is then, if it's everything you said, why the fuck was Bill there?
Right. And then why are they clout chasing somebody that got the IBF with the rehydration and all that? Just the moves don't make sense. And guess what? Like I said, Reggie, since you don't want to pay attention to everything, Richards and Hitchens was never on the list.
Oh, this nigga! I ain't never said that wasn't shit, bro. I said
he was never on the list. But salute, Koki.
Yeah, salute,
salute AC, salute Bodywork. How y'all doing?
We good, bro.
Good. Y'all, I just wanted to chime in just about what Body and AC were talking about. You know, the problem with like Bill, right? He brings that attention to Devin, and Devin is not going to back it up himself, but Bill does all these distractions about Tio and about race. He's talking about Hitchens called us, this, and it's like, well, what were y'all calling him before? And then you see Reggie, right? You see what he's writing. He's trying to disregard Hitchens, who just knocked out Kambosos with a body shot, 8th round. Haney couldn't even do it in 24 rounds, man. And you're trying to downplay this guy, man. Like, what did Haney do? 24 rounds in Australia? Like, come on, bro. And everybody fell asleep watching that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was excited seeing Hitchens come off the right hand, slick jab, seeing him bust up Kambosos. Like, I told people said, oh, Hitchens not going to knock out this guy. I told people, yo, he's going to do it because his style is made for that. Like, if you come into that jab, you're going to get cut up. You saw, you remember the Puerto Rican guy, Bowser? He got cut up like crazy.
Yep.
And I'm like, Hitchens could do that to you. And the thing is, he doesn't have Bill Haney there to talk for him to, get all that attention on him. And, these other channels that be OnlyFans for Dev, it's like, you don't get to see other fighters. And for me, that's the problem, because then you start making it about one or two guys like, oh, now the 140, 147 division is about Tio and Dev. Fuck out of here. Devin has no fights at 147. Reggie mentioned, oh, why doesn't Hitchens go to 147? Yo, at this point, as far as I'm concerned, bro, Haney has to beat somebody at 147. And I could be like, all right, that's the dude that, you got to go up and it's because of the name, man. This guy got, all these channels blowing him up. It's like, bro, he hasn't fought anybody for me to be like, yo, he's a 147 guy I got to be afraid of. No, Hitchens is, because at 140, he's doing that. And look, remember when Hitchens was talking about the IBF weight limit and he was talking about like Matias? Well, guess what? His coach said, yo, Hitchens just needs a few fights, 1 or 2 fights under the IBF, and he'll get used to it. And after the Lemos fight, look how he looked against Paro, and look how he looked against Kambosos. So Hitchens made that adjustment. You know, he's a big guy, but he does the 10, he respects the limit, he does the IBF, and he defends the title. So Haney and his fans cannot talk nothing about. I don't even want to hear any Haney fans talk about Hitchens, because Haney rehydrates 25 pounds at 135. At 135, 25 pounds, man. And look, Haney got skills, but it's like Hitchens is doing something that you can't even imagine Haney do. Imagine Haney doing the IBF rules, bro. Come on, when he does that, then I could talk, yo, Haney got that. But for now, for me, it's Hitchens all day. Like Hitchens, the guy that you want, the technical boxer, you pick him. Haney has to show me he could go against a guy that got pop in the sense. Not Jose Ramirez, who, you know, this guy should be, you know, he should be retired right now. So yeah, my fault, guys, for going in, but I'm gonna let y'all rock.
No, you cooking. Bro. That's why. Hey, that's what it's here for. You
Reggie got me tight though. Reggie was, yo, y'all were cooking and y'all were giving that knowledge like from the beginning, and like Reggie comes in like, oh, well, why y'all let Hitchens go? Like we let Hitchens go, bro. I've heard body work be critical of Hitchens. I've heard body work be honest about Hitchens. It's not even like, you know, we're giving it both ways. Like even with Matias, like when Matias lost to Paro, I was like, yo, I have to be honest. This guy is a little too attached to the island, and he's not, you know, if you're going to be a fighter, you got to be all of it. So, you know, we're going to be critical of people. We're not going to be only fans, where it's like, you know what? Don't look at my fighter. Let's look at your fighter, and let's just keep it at that. You know, it doesn't work like that.
Right. And I don't know if you know my saying, Reggie, but I say this is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. You on some Reggie shit. We not on no Reggie. It's like, yo, mid. It's mid or gas for us.
And here's the thing, just to cap it off. I did not have, and Body will tell you, both me and Pop had Paro beating Hitchens. And we would
wow.
Yeah, we actually was like, nah, I think Paro gonna take it, bro. Because it was the recency bias from the Lemos fight. And I was being honest about it. I'm like, it's hard for me to see past that last performance with Lemos. So I think I'm gonna go with Paro. Body was like, I'm telling y'all, man.
Yo, salute to Easily Big in the house.
You feel what I'm saying? So, me personally, I'm a big Devin Haney fan. You feel what I'm saying? But what I'm not gonna do is condone the behavior that's not good for the sport and that's not becoming of who you are. For me, when I look at Devin Haney, I look at him as the guy that cleaned up the 135 division. He got rid of all the bullshit that was going on in that division with the franchise belt and everything else. And he walked away with the lineal title and being undisputed in one fucking fight, basically. So for me, that's his claim to fame. Then I was telling people he's not going to fight Shakur Stevenson at 135 pounds. That's not going to happen, because once you get in the later rounds and you get a tough opponent like that, he going to get beat. Look at what happened with him in Loma, to whereas people will say that they feel that Loma edged that fight. You feel what I'm saying? I don't see it that way. They see it that way. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I was like, no, he has no more. There's nothing else for him at 135. Him going to 140 and choosing a Regis, I had no issue with it. You feel what I'm saying? I wanted him to get better smoke instead of fucking around and playing in the sandbox with Ryan. But I was like, well, listen, if Ryan want to take that schooling, then Dev, you go out there, you put on, you slow that tempo down and you just outbox this dude. Period. Show him that there's levels to it. The situation wasn't like that. I made no excuses. I gave Ryan his props. You just beat a guy who they're saying now they want to say he's a pound for pound fighter, a lineal champion. Ryan, kudos to you, bro. Then the other bullshit happened. Since that fight, I did not like his performance. with Ramirez. So hold on.
Yeah. Fight Gary Russell. Yo, why doesn't Devin fight Gary Russell?
And his moves, and just to cap it everything off, his moves at 140 when you were sitting as the champion in recess, that shit infuriated me, because I'm like, Dev, you lost nothing. You didn't lose your belt, and you didn't get up, and you didn't lose your O. Stay busy. Show people that fight with Brian, it was only that way because he cheated you. But since you decided to take the year off and then give us that performance, I mean, come on, Reg. Come on, Reg.
See with everybody else.
My lying eyes ain't lying to me no more.
See, but this is a typical. I'm not even gonna get distracted with Reggie, because if we're gonna have a conversation, Reggie, we gotta have a real conversation. All you're doing is deflecting. You're not giving Hitchens any credit. When I said my main talking point was, how was Kambosos the legacy? Because that's who Devin fought to get undisputed. That's who we get credit for defending his undisputed, right? But then when Richardson Hitchens finally fight him, then it's all of a sudden it's oh well, he ain't fought nobody. It's like, no, he didn't suck himself down to 35 and weight bully down there. He could have did that. Him and Devin were the same size when they started. He didn't come in be under the tutelage of Floyd. He got signed with Floyd and pretty much got shelved. He never fought somebody with an upside down record. He didn't go down to Mexico and build himself down there with payola and all that. He didn't put a one-way rehydration clause on Regis Prograis. But you won't put no respect on Hitchens, and this is typical Devin Haney, nasty ass, musty ass energy where y'all can't keep it a buck. Y'all want everybody else to fight all these killers, and think about it. Devin been clout chasing Hitchens this whole past week, and he ain't even on the list. This shows you that Devin is a man without a land, without a plan, man. So tell him to go get some work. If he don't want to fight Richardson Hitchens, then okay, tell him, what was all the noise for? Why did they say everything but let's fight after the fight? And Richardson Hitchens said he probably want me to go to 147 and he'll give me an opportunity, and Richardson is willing to go do that. But to say, oh, he need to go do something before he fight Devin ain't got no fight.
Yeah,
he ain't got no fight. Where's his money? Like, he's DHP, but where's the A-side contract? See, it's cool to say you the A-side when your name is in contention with somebody and you ran off the clout with T.O., and T.O. said no, so that fucked you. Ryan went and got his hand fixed, so that fucked you. So now you don't got no plan. You better be grateful that Richardson Hitchens is actually calling, because he's actually giving you an opportunity. Richardson is really giving you the opportunity because he got the clout. Because typically in boxing, you're only good as your last performance. And unless it's my lying eyes, the Sheik came out to talk about some Tom and Jerry shit based on Skull and Devin and the shit that they did. But ain't nobody saying that after Hitchens just stopped Kambosos. They trying to say Kambosos is just washed.
Nah,
make it make sense.
I look at it like this. If we got favorite fighters, right? The thing we want to see with our favorite fighters is them fight. I don't want to have a favorite fighter that ain't fighting. You feel what I'm saying? Other than that, when you look at Richardson Hitchens, that version beats every version that the 24 rounds that Devin did with Kambosos, that Hitchens beats him. The fight that Loma put on him, that beats him. The win he had against Teofimo Lopez, Hitchinson beats him. Any version of Kambosos that you can go back and they want to say was his good performance, that Hitchens that he faced last night beats his fucking ass easily, because out of all the fights that I've seen of Kambosos and Sneaky, I'm like a Kambosos fan. You feel what I'm saying? I like what he brings to the table. But at the end of the day, here's the thing. I know that there isn't a version of Kambosos that beats the Hitchens he ran up on last night. Calm, collected, on point. And when he took his put himself in a danger zone to be clipped, by a great counterpuncher. Yeah, I said a great counterpuncher in George Kambosos, because if you sleep on him, he'll counter you and he will put you on your pockets. You feel what I'm saying? So when you look at that, to go in there in his territory and be that relaxed, disciplined, and take him apart, bro, that was the most impressive win that I've seen over George Kambosos out of all the losses of George Kambosos.
Exactly. It's only his fourth loss, 2 to Devin, and then 1 to Loma getting stopped. And Richardson Hitchens did it with more command, more control, you know what I'm saying, in a better fashion under the IBF, Reggie. And see you, Reggie, what you gonna do? So we don't block you. It's freedom of speech over here. You can troll all day in the comments, but you're proving my point. You're proving my point in the fact that Bill, he created a cult. And it's looking like you're part of the cult because you're sitting up here trying to attack people and say something about some fathers and all this other stuff and all this whatever. Deflection. You don't want to give Richardson Hitchens no credit. You part of the cult. So you could just live in the comments and type to your heart's desire.
Yeah.
We're just going to ignore you now. So we're just going to ignore you till you say something that's going to address a point and you come with something like you actually have a brain.
Yeah, your body. I gotta say something too, man. You know what bothers me about like that talking point about fathers? It's like if you a Haney fan, right? You gotta assume that like an Haney fan, right? You gotta assume like you follow Bill's like code of being Afrocentric and all that, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, why do you attack people that you mad because Devin has a father? But guess what, man? Like from the community I'm from in the Bronx, a lot of us don't got fathers, and that shit's fact. And that's something we deal with. That's something that my boys, you don't got a father. So guess what? Your uncle, your grandfather, that's your father figure, right? So I don't respect dudes who like use that like narrative as an argument, because then they take it from boxing, like you said, body work. They try to change the narrative and turn it into something else. But for me, if you really like pro-black, if you really for your people, you gotta acknowledge that like that's part of our community. We just can't like be like, oh, yo, you don't got a father, haha. Like, bro, you gotta understand, like you got a relative that don't got a father, and then you writing this on Reggie, you writing this online, and you acting like that's cool because you heard another Haney fan said that same line. He's like, oh, also somebody shut somebody down, but no, you're not shutting nobody down because you're making yourself look bad, bro. Because there's people out there that don't got pops, and that's not their fault per se, but honestly, bro, I'll be real with you. I'd rather have no pops than have a Bill Haney pimp me out to other dudes and shit. Cause that's what he's doing with Dev. You think Dev got his own life, bro? Nah, he follows Bill by the code, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'd rather do my own shit than be, somebody's bitch and get thrown to we're gonna take that Ryan fight for 1.5 million, and then Dev got hurt, Dev car, he got a chin. Well, that jaw got broke, and it's like, come on, son, like, you're not really looking out for your son, and you're really looking out for you. That's why I don't fuck with Bill, because I think he's not good for Dev. I think Dev would be better without Bill. I think Devin would fight twice a year, and he'll be more focused on like just boxing. He won't be focused on the clout. Body said that Devin is a clout chaser, but you got to think about it. He is. Why would he go to that fight when Hitchens is not on the list? And Devin, you said it yourself, Reggie. Devin is number 1 in the WBA for 147. So, why doesn't he call him out? He's the A side, right? Quote, offer him the contract, and then do that. But welcome, Crush.
At 47,
what's going on?
What's good, Crush? I just wanted to put this in there. Dev, you want to prove to me you're a true 147 pounder dude? And this is a dude that's riding for you and saying, yeah, I want you to take this fight. Bro, fuck around with Conor Benn. Conor Benn already pressed you about a fight, and he was willing to either Conor Benn or Blair Cobb. I prefer Blair Cobb because Blair Cobb will make the deal with you no matter what you try to offer him. You feel what I'm saying? He'll take it just because he wants the victory. Blair Cobb ain't gonna bring no bullshit, and Blair Cobb is actually gonna sell the shit out of that fight. Blair Cobb pressed you in the past. So if you're looking for a fight at 47, you got Conor Benn, who's sitting at the number 3 where you're ranked number 1, and you got a Blair Cobb that already called you out. It's up to you, bro. Show me. You feel what I'm saying? So I could come on the panel and I could be like, yeah, my nigga Dev put the beats on these dudes, start to give my dude his respect. He coming back, bro. He coming back.
Well, look, I'm not gonna give them no way out. I'm gonna stick to what Devin's list was. And Crush, I'm gonna say salute to Crush and happy Father's Day, Crush. But let me say this one thing to these guys in the comment section so they can listen, so they can hear me out and use their critical thinking skills for 1 second. For 1 second, you're saying you too rich for the belts. You're saying that Richardson Hitchens don't deserve no praise, he don't deserve no credit, he don't. But see, this is the cult-like mindset to where y'all always say, oh man, when somebody have anything critical to say about Devin, they're tearing down the black man. And here it is that Richardson Hitchens just won, and this is a show about Richardson Hitchens and what he said and his victory, and y'all in here tearing down Richardson Hitchens. If he was not worthy, why was Bill at his press conference, and why did they show up to his fight? Y'all sound dumb. And then if he ain't on the list, I'm not even gonna give you a way out and say Blair. You duck Blair. He went in the Boxing Voice and called you out and said we could do this on Valentine's Day. Y'all pressed him and made him say that he didn't have nothing in the works. Only to come out and him flip it on you for y'all to say y'all didn't have nothing in the works at that time. So but y'all are some direct hypocrites. Because y'all always say somebody tearing down a black man when they say anything critical about Devin, but here y'all are tearing down Richardson Hitchens. You got the floor, Crush.
What's happening? Salute to everybody, man. Happy Father's Day, man. But hey, he put him on notice, man. And Richardson Hitchens been talking his talk about these guys for quite some time now. So it shouldn't be anything new or strange to anybody who's been paying attention to the sport of boxing. I think he's great for the sport, and it's about time to really see somebody really go out there and had an appetite for smoke, as the Mason brothers would say, had an appetite for smoke and go in there and get at it. As far as with Devin Haney, man, him and his situation, like he's blessed to be at 147 right now, but ain't too much going on up there. And still what's up at 147 that's left there since my man Boots moved up to 154, which was a great move for him instead of wasting his time on all them dudes at 147. We ain't got shit on. None of them dudes could beat him that was there. Brian Norman, none of them dudes at 47 currently can F with Boots in it. So I'm glad he moving up to 54. But getting back to Devin Haney, I don't know what the fuck he gonna do. But anybody that was talking about, let's see Boots fight Dev for what? The fuck y'all thought Devin Haney was gonna do after putting on that shitty ass, scary ass, motherfucking Scooby Doo mystery mobile ass performance against Ramirez? Are y'all serious? Or he just gonna quantum leap back into the Dev he used to be in? That Dev wouldn't be able to hang motherfucking Boots Ennis in no kind of way. That man has all the advantages over Devin Haney all the way around the board. Get over y'all feelings and shit. Get y'all moist media if y'all like it, cause y'all wet. And y'all feelings. And that's the fact. So when he even try to make it seem like he was on the same level, he would make it a competitive fight. My honest opinion, it will not be no competitive fight. There's levels to this shit. And just like he's levels of God above guys is levels above goddamn Devin Haney. He's not the greatest thing that laced the gloves up as lately. He's not that guy that we once thought the fuck he was. It didn't take long to find out. It didn't take long. This guy, he's been fighting guys that he had the advantages over. Most of his goddamn resume. What are we talking about? Oversizing guys and, just overly skilled with guys. Now, I mean, and even with the guys that had some skill with, most of them, he had a size advantage over. Now, I mean, but I don't know. And like I said, this is the second half of his career. What the fuck you gonna do? He definitely got to top his first half of his career. Can he even match it? It's not even a guarantee that he'll become undisputed again. And at one time, he was highly in the race to become undisputed twice. Thought he would do it before Terrence Crawford would do it the second time. I think a few of us thought that. Well, I guess we stand correct. That didn't happen. So I don't know what's going to happen with this boy. I still don't think he's really good on getting hit very well, and he's going to get hit by a puncher at 147 because some punches up there. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, great points, man. You know, the issue is the issue is it's accountability, man. Like we hold. There's a lot of my guys. A lot of guys that I pull for, man. They are always held to a high standard when it comes to accountability. But like this guy saying, too rich, Mr. I respect the belt. They say everything but let's fight. No, Bill said everything but let's fight. Bill said everything but let's fight. Richards and Hitchens called him out. He did. Like we're reporting on current events. A fight just happened. Richards and Hitchens conducted his post-fight interview. He said F the Haney's. Right? He said I want to fight Devin Haney. Then when they asked him, he said, well, I'm sure he gonna want me to go to 47, but I gotta sit down with my team and see if we can make that happen. So he was going to acquiesce. He sounded like he would acquiesce to the plans. But when they caught up with Bill, oh man, Devin get hit too much, and yeah, he was honorable mention on the list. Bill said everything but let's fight. But keep sipping the Kool-Aid, man. Keep sipping the Kool-Aid. We're not really worried about Devin. We already know what he is. We've been figured him out. I did a video called Murderer's Row when they were talking about he went through Murderer's Row where everybody got an average age of at least 7 years older than him. He fight people that's 7 to 11 years older than him, where he got the height, the reach, more activity, supposedly the higher boxing IQ. He rehydrate way bigger. He got every advantage. And then it's questionable. I mean, I kind of had him edging Loma. You know, I watched it a couple times. I kind of had him because Loma got cocky and he didn't close out in the final round. He took it off, being a little arrogant, thinking he had it in the bag. But it's a lot of people that thought he lost. There's a lot of people that don't ever talk about how Regis Prograis had a one-way rehydration. He had a one-way rehydration. I came out, I did a video and said, you know, Devin made me eat some of the best crow I ever had. When Tank had that performance against Lamont Roach, I came out, I was critical. When Richard Hitchens had that performance with Gustavo Lemos, I came out, I was critical. When Matias had that performance against Liam Paro, I came out, I was critical. I can do that. I do that on this channel. You know what I'm saying? It ain't all this lollipops and gumdrops over here. Y'all can't do it. And y'all know that he a man without a land or a plan. So if Richards and Hitchens ain't nobody, why was Bill there? You better be glad I'm like not like one of these other channels where I won't let you make another comment until you answer my question. Because right now, all y'all doing is really distracting. We getting ready to move on.
Yeah, so let's just do that. At the end of the day, I don't want to take nothing away from Hitchens' masterclass in boxing, man. That shit was beautiful to watch. I don't give a fuck what people say. He delivered on, you know, what Crush kind of was like, yo, y'all can't be telling these boxers to go out there and knock somebody out. You feel what I'm saying? For me, he got the boxer's knockout, the TKO. When I talk about a boxer, a pure boxer like a Shakur, a Dev, a Lamont Roach, a fucking a Hitchens. You feel what I'm saying? When I talk about these guys and I say they need the stoppage or the KO, I'm talking about the TKO. Because you're supposed to be that technically sound that you know how to put hands on the motherfucker to where the ref just says, listen, you ain't defending yourself intelligently, the fight's done. You feel what I'm saying? And even if the guy protests, it's like, bro, just go back and rewatch the fight. You feel what I'm saying? Look, he delivered on that.
Look, it's almost like he was listening. It's almost like he was listening
exactly.
to it because Crush came out and said, listen, man, you need to come out and go to that body. I think he was excellent with that jab. His name is up there in the conversation with one of the best jabs. I think Andy Cruz got a very nice jab. We getting ready to transition into Andy Cruz, but I want to make this point. Richards and Hitchens came out. He had an excellent jab. He had an excellent right hand. He did not run. He stood his ground. You know, he threw a couple times. He threw some combination punches, some punches and bunches, but he kept going back downstairs to where Kambosos least expected it. And for him to get that body shot the way he did, knock him on his back pockets, you could see him reeling in pain. He couldn't beat the count. He just couldn't beat the count. So he did exactly what he was supposed to do. And
even when he got up, he was in pain. He was like, ugh, and the ref was like,
hey, Body, what was my prediction real quick? I said, in order for him to get the knockout, go to the body, he gonna get it in the late rounds, and the motherfucker happened.
It happened.
Just like I said, I understand
boxing,
man.
Right.
Yeah, yo,
I understand this shit.
I called it in the 7th, Pop called it in the 8th, Body called it in the 9th.
So we was all around the same era, because I was saying between 7 and 9. So, you know.
We knew that fight wasn't going. We knew that fight wasn't going the distance.
So look, a while ago, right? This is what I said. I called it the replacements, and people didn't really see me. Now these were the replacements, right? And you see who I had in green. This was a while ago. I had him in green. Matias was that guy. Somehow Matias lost to Paro, and now Richardson Hitchens is the last man standing because this was out of the Eddie Hearns thing. So now it's coming to pass. But we did a piece earlier this week,
man,
on rising stocks, and I said, man, I said this. They saying that the boxing market is bare. It's like down, but I don't believe that. I said I'm bullish on these guys, hence the bull ring and the nose. And I said I'm bullish on these two guys. And so I want to go ahead and get into Andy Cruz. We didn't know. I know I didn't personally, speaking for myself. I didn't know much about the Japanese gentleman, but I was really more so looking at the improvements and the upgrades of Andy Cruz. And I think, man, that man got one of the best jabs in the game too. You know, from the small, especially from the smaller divisions.
Yeah, it was amazing me that towards the 5th, 6th round, the announcers were saying that Hitchens had the best jab in the game. You can make that argument. You feel what I'm saying? Cruz performance was like watching a Hitchens fight. It was just like, bro, you combining that Cuban style with that Philly style. And he knew the pockets of where to do it. When I'm on the inside, I'm gonna go to the Philly style to be able to sit on my shit and land some shots. When I'm out in the perimeter, I'm gonna go with the Cuban style. And boy, did that motherfucker look good doing that shit, bro. And got the stoppage. I was like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's why every time we try to bring up Andy Cruz fighting Keyshawn, the weirdos come, but Andy Cruz ain't did nothing. He this, he that. Look at how he fights, bro. I don't give a fuck what y'all saying. Look at how that man fights. That tells me that this is why Keyshawn can't beat him. It's that style right there. Now he got that Philly shit with it. Oh no. Oh no. No.
You know what wrinkle I like, man? The wrinkle that I showed, that he showed that I like. I like that he knew when to stay on the inside and when to stay on the outside, because he was killing them from the outside. But when he got on the inside, he would get his off, and then as soon as Buddy might try to do something, he would smother Buddy's punches. I'm like, oh man, he done figured out how to neutralize the power. You know, It was a subtle thing that he kept doing, but he was stuffing Buddy every time he got ready to, you know what I'm saying, like load up. He would stuff him, get his off, and they, you know, maybe a little clinch, and then it would be broken up, and then peppering him from the outside, get back on the inside, get his shit off, Buddy load up. He would smother the punches, man. I thought that he showed another wrinkle.
Yo, the way he stepped in to smother those punches was the thing of beauty to me. Like, he would step in, throw a little quick shot, get a little clinch, push him off, and then step around. I was like, oh my God, this nigga, wow, look at this IQ this kid coming with. Yeah, I see it now. Yeah, that's something different right there. And Bozy got him. Bozy gonna have him right, bro. I gotta give Bozy his credit. He got himself a real one right there. Boots could feed off of some of that stuff that Andy Cruz is doing and learn that Cuban style. oh my fucking god, Boots is gonna be some horrible to beat. Looking forward, bro. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I thought I was gonna be a little, skittish and reluctant about Andy Cruz being in there with what's the name, and that's why I really, really wanted to see that fight. But Bozy got him doing this thing, bro. Congratulations to you, Bozy. You got that boy looking right. You feel what I'm saying? So
he needs to fight more though, man. He needs to fight more.
Huh?
Andy Cruz needs to fight more, man. Need to at least see him 3 times a year, man. Cause what was this? His 8th or 9th fight?
Nah, 5th.
I think it was the
5th. See,
5th or 6th.
Yeah, he got to start turning up, man. He got to start fighting these 3 times a year, man.
I think, bro. But let me ask you this, Kush. You think off that performance, people gonna be wanting to get in the ring with Andy Cruz?
Well, it's boxing they signed up for. If not, they should just retire.
Exactly.
Simple.
Exactly. Because that's the problem I see him gonna have moving forward, man. Is whether dude's gonna want to get in the ring with him and shit like that. There's a couple.
Yeah,
of
nobody's
dogs.
calling him out.
Yeah, nobody's calling him out. There's a couple of dogs down there that, I'm just gonna put it out there. Let's just say Schofield gets past Farmer. Do you think Schofield versus Andy Cruz makes sense?
It makes sense because Schofield needs to show me something. If he's supposed to be go ahead, Bodywork. I just wanted to say real quick, if he's supposed to be what he's supposed to be, then this again, I definitely got to test for him every time I hear it. He's being tested every time I hear it, or even when I think about him. So I don't think that would be a bad fight.
Well, yeah, I like that. I was thinking about that, but what happened is this was just an eliminator. So I want to talk about, I want to briefly talk about him and Morataya because that was an eliminator to get the Morataya fight because when Loma retired, they gave Morataya the belt, so that he's going to be under the IBF. And see, you got to think, Andy Cruz is 27. He got the gold medal thing. He long in the tooth a little bit for boxing, but I mean they did kind of like fast track him just a little bit, but he got to see Morataya. What's your first thoughts about him versus Morataya?
Real quick. Go ahead, AC, you got it.
No, I was gonna say I think it's a good fight. I'm kind of like maybe it's a 50-50 fight for me. You feel what I'm saying? I like some things that Morataya does, but I'm right now to answer that question. There's going to be a lot of heavy prejudice based on how impressed I was with Andy Cruz last night, and him combining that Cuban and Philly style of boxing together. I think it's going to give Morataya a hell of a lot of problems if he's not on his game. I think this might be his toughest fight, and that's where
I like Morataya. I call him Cheese for short because his last name sounds like a cheese, some sort of cheese. I'll call him Cheese for short, even aka Danger. He like to call himself that. I think that'd be a good fight, but like you said, AC, I think Andy Cruz's style would be somewhat difficult for Morataya because Morataya hasn't faced anyone like that. Andy Cruz has seen a few guys like a Morataya, but Morataya is a dangerous guy. That's why he calls himself Danger. And if he's focused and on point, he'll give anybody a long night at the office. So I like it. Let's see it.
What you got, Cole Key?
I got Cruz. I like how he's training with in Philly. I feel like he's gonna get more cut into the pro style, and I think Morataya could go both ways too, but I'm gonna favor Cruz just based on his pedigree. I think he's he'll be up there at the 135, like top dogs, tanking them. But I think he'll get past him.
Yeah, I think when it comes down to Morataya, this is going to be a matter of Andy Cruz having to be very patient, because Morataya actually got it. I think he would have an equalizer when it comes to Andy, because Andy, only question I have about Andy is the chin, because he looked like he's susceptible. If you can crack and you got some power, that can neutralize him and make him stay on the outside. Now, if you let him stay on the outside, he like the Green Arrow. He'll pick you apart from the outside, and when he go in to take risks, if Morataya can land on him, that's my only question mark on Andy Cruz, because that chin, you can get better with your punch resistance, you can get seasoned and all that, you can get training and kind of work it, but like that's the only thing that if you either got one or you don't, for the most part. And I think that's the thing that's what make that fight with Morataya interesting. If it go to point and they both and Andy Cruz can stay patient, I think he can outpoint Morataya. If he gets reckless and go on the inside and get caught, the fight can change. So that's how I see that going. I want to
see Cruz fight a guy that a high volume puncher. I want to see how he does in a high pace fight, because like you mentioned, him getting hit on the chin is you got to see how you react to that. You're gonna react, you're gonna fight back. You're gonna need time to recover. So I want to see him go against a guy that could a guy with power, but I want to see him go against a guy that can pick up that pace.
Like
and how he does against that.
That's what I was going to mention. I was like, look, the fight, for me, it would be like, I'm still, I get what Body was saying, and there's a lot of me that agrees with it, but again, like I said earlier, there's going to be some heavy recency bias, because although this guy is not Morataya, it's just the intelligent way that Andy Cruz got in on the inside. These were things that I seen the potential, but I didn't see him actually do. And now I guess he's coming into a certain level of confidence. So for me, I think for the most part, he might make the fight easy for himself and just pick Morataya apart from mid-range to outside and never really put himself in that danger, because I think Bozy may not tell him to do that until they get like past the 8th round. Like you got him reacting to everything. Now step inside to him. You feel what I'm saying? I think that's when Bozy will try to get him to go in late. But a person like Zepeda, that's the test fight for me, because again, I'm a person that feels a lot of times that the technical guy, the methodical guy, you either put him in there with the guy who's unorthodox in his punch selection and his footwork, or you put him in there with the high volume guy to really test him, because those are the two fights that usually break those type of guys down, or it makes them rise, like cream in a cup of coffee. So,
right.
That's where I landed with that. But I think, for me, I would think Zepeda would probably be more of a test for Andy Cruz, just based off his last couple of performances. I think Zepeda is the bigger test for me. But Morataya, it's a test because Morataya does have that crack, and you let Morataya get inside on you, he's not the guy that's going to squander those opportunities on the inside. He's going to take advantage of it. And he is somewhat of a pressure fighter, but he applies that pressure smartly.
Yeah, that last fight he had, at first I was like, why he don't just step on him? Why he don't? But people could say, he might have made it a little lackluster, but he was very effective in that last fight. He busted Abdulaev up over time. Like he stayed disciplined. He's gonna have to fight that kind of fight with Andy, hoping that Andy start making mistakes. So that's something that we should be looking out for, because I think it's getting ready to come down the pike soon. Because I know they want they want him to get a strap. And to address one thing, man, because it's just like with the Haney stuff and all that. It's like a lot of people keep saying, a I know L-Dub said it on the last live. He was saying Andy don't say no names, and he ain't saying all he say is Keyshawn. Look, you gotta think them guys have a history. I don't know what's wrong with us to where when certain people have a history in the in the amateurs, it's okay to bring it up. It's like the history that Lamont had with Tank, even though it was long ago, there was familiarity there.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he use his opportunity to advertise the way that he advertised? It can't be okay for others and then unacceptable for the ones that you don't particularly care for. Now, what I do believe is that it's much like how Tank do things, even though it's a language barrier. Whereas he don't just talk out of pocket and just call out names. He don't do the whole call out things. People call out him or say things to him and he responds. The only thing with Andy Cruz is him and Keyshawn had a history, right? And he was saying that he wanted that smoke. So it's okay for him to say that name. Now that Keyshawn is moving on, right? If he continued to say it and they in different divisions, that's something different. But that's what he was supposed to be doing at that stage and at that time. Now that Keyshawn moved up, okay, cool. Now he got his eyes on the title. But he's not going to be the type of person that's going to be just out here randomly calling people names. That's not the kind of, even though it's a language barrier, right? That's not the kind of like person he is, so to speak. He's talking that smack to Keyshawn because of that history, but he's not going to be out here saying he can beat shit down King Kong leg and, Muhammad Ali ain't got shit on me. He's not going to be doing that. He's staying the course of the path that they got him on. He just need to stay active. He gonna fight for the strap, the winner of that, and then whoever's right now is Mortalia's reign because he got the belt. So now he got to defend it or solidify it, and that's probably going to be Andy Cruz next because that was an eliminator. And going forward, you're not going to hear this man just calling everybody out. I think he did mention that he would like to fight Shakur, which I didn't see no problems with because they both was on Matchroom. It's in-house. It's something standard. He said he wanted to do that. So nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying, oh, you just clout chasing Shakur. It's like, no, they're going to play that game of what has he done? Well, he's climbing the ranks. He might not be fully ready, fully developing his pro style, but he's already getting ready to fight. He just fought an eliminator, so he's getting ready to get a strap. And the fights are going to be organic that they got him for because that's how they're moving him. Yeah. We got to get over that and let these boxers, call out who they're going to call out if that's what it is. Talk they smack to whoever, just like when Richards and Hitchens were talking to smack to Kambosos. People didn't like that. I'm like, he's just talking smack to his op. It's not nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah. That was the weird goofy shit. But at the end of the day, man, where Andy Cruz is right now, and people trying to say what you just said about him whatever, but keeping the same energy. Shakur, we knew Shakur, and damn, I just brain farted on old boy's name. How the fuck did I do that?
Is it Pater?
No.
Mason?
No. It's go way back. Go way back. Jamel Herring. No,
Herring.
Shakur and Jamel Herring had a past relationship. You feel what I'm saying? Vernon Forrest and Shane Mosley had a relationship. So there are times Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes had a relationship, sparring partners and all of that. So these things matter when you talk about fights because it's gonna have something to do with how the fight plays out. You feel what I'm saying? If a guy's got your number, he's just got your number. If you never beat him in one area, most of the time, you're not going to beat him in the other area. Not 3 out of 5 times. So for me, I never liked the fact that Keyshawn and heavy Keyshawn fans was like, nah, he ain't got Andy Cruz. Nah, that's something different. Yo, he just got into this and that and all of this. I'm like, but he beat him 4 times. What are you telling me? That all that shit is irrelevant because he beat him 4 times. But people will still try to come up with their excuses and downplay the fight and say he needs to do this and he needs to, go find a Christmas tree inside of the Yukon and shit like that and all of this other stuff. And it's like, bro, why are you asking him to do all of this other stuff? If they have a relationship and the fight is already built in, then let it happen. You feel what I'm saying? So I ain't got no problem with it. Just like I didn't have an issue with, finding out that Mason and Keyshawn don't really get along. At least those are the rumors, alleged rumors. So if they should mix it up, then there's those things. I'm looking to see if there's any legitimacy. So if they ever mix it up, I want to see how those press conferences are gonna go down. Are they gonna be extra chippy?
Right.
Boxing Matters. What's up, man? You on? What's up, man?
What's going on, fellas? Now I just was just listening into what they were saying about the fights. Right now, I wanted to give you a little input. Go ahead,
as
man.
Far as salute.
Salute, bro.
I mean, what fight specifically you was just talking about right now, bro? My bad.
No, we were talking about the Andy Cruz fight.
Oh, where Murataya?
No, yeah, with that possible Murataya fight, but just where Andy Cruz is, just as a fighter.
Nah, I feel like Andy Cruz, with each fight, he just gotten better and better. Like, he's setting down more his punches, finding his rhythm more. I ain't gonna lie, if he has a little more combination, you feel me, with the left, he for sure should be a problem.
Okay.
You cut out a little bit, but yeah, I think everything for him, everything starts with his jab. He got a stifling jab. He got one of them jabs to where it might not be the most powerful, but it come in so quick, it kind of it flusters you and it stop you a little bit in your tracks a little bit. It don't hurt you that bad, but it's like it make you reset every time. So he got one of the best jabs in the game right now, as far as the little guys.
Yeah, I also wanted to check how tall is Murataya, because you know how we can't really tell on TV. So that's another thing. I would like to see like how the size.
Oh, you cut out again, bro.
You hear me?
Yeah.
You driving?
Nah, yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to see the size difference between Murataya and Andy if they do fight. Because I feel like size will play a part.
It looked like
he 5'8", Murataya 5'8".
But I think Andy got to be about what? 5'6".
Andy's 5'9".
He don't look that small though. He look good. He look like a solid 135 fighter. Andy looks solid.
I'll tell you right now, Andy, they got him listed at 5'9".
Yeah, he's 5'9", but he looks shorter because I think his boxing stance.
Nah, Andy nice though. I feel like his boxing abilities, everything, he got everything there. He got lateral movement. He got good feet too. Know how to get out the way. It's just him working the combinations, and knowing when to like throw the right punch at the right time.
I think that's what Bozy is teaching them. Like for me, it's like whatever Bozy is teaching them, it's bringing them away from that amateur style, but saying hold on to that Cuban technique.
Yeah, because yeah, true. Because Bozy wouldn't want to do too much where you could possibly mess him up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
So
just put too much juice in the cup either gonna fall over.
He got him settling down more. That's what I see, because when he first came in, it was just like it was the amateur. It was like a whole bunch of flirt. Now he's accurate. He's very accurate. They basically saying he's doing 4-1. Like according to his punch stats, he is 4-1. He's landing 4 times as much as his opponent, but he was coming off like very accurate, very fast. But now he kind of got him settling down and slowing it down a little bit, picking his shots. You know what I'm saying? Knowing when to use his feet. And it takes some time, man. It's an adjustment because, he's 27. So You know, it's like teaching an old dog new tricks, even though he just turned pro because he's an older guy. But I think he got a high boxing IQ. He's very fast, very accurate. He just don't have that much power. But his speed can kind of compensate. His speed and accuracy will make his power that much better because you won't see it coming and it'll come so fast that it'll surprise you. Because that's how he clipped Buddy. He hit him with that temple shot. You know what I'm saying? And Buddy went down almost like in slow motion.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Andy too. Like it looks like he wants to learn, he wants to grow and be better. So and it's working perfectly with him and Bozy for you couldn't ask a better matching for them. Cause
yeah, I mean, I had questions because I was like, "Word."
Me too.
I want to see what he looked like under Bozy right now.
Me too. I questioned that move, but it's looking. I questioned. I said, "Man, is that gonna work?" But it's working. Is he developing?
And you could tell too, everything it'd be fun in the gym because you see videos of him and Boots, having fun in the gym. Like,
yeah, it look like he from Philly now with the way he got that beard.
Yeah. And it's only like I was saying earlier, man. At this point, it should only make Boots even get better because you're seeing things globally now. You're looking at a whole different boxing legacy style that's coming in from a country to whereas these dudes don't never have to fight a pro fight in their life, and they good. They get their car, they got an apartment, they got a stipend. All you gotta do is show up for the amateurs and bring home the gold. You bring home the gold, we give you a bigger check.
AB mentioned the Andy Cruz against Pitbull Cruz. I don't mind that 135, but like,
damn. I feel like 135, let's see though, because Pitbull's still at 140. He said he was coming down, but I don't know if PBC gonna wanna.
I heard he want to come down because I heard he don't like the I saw an interview in Spanish. He said he doesn't like being the weaker guy.
Yeah, he's really too small for 40.
Yeah, I thought him and Kambosos would be good at 35 because I don't think neither one of them belong at 40 because they don't have that dimension. I mean, Cruz, because of the style and the way he fight, he made it interesting at 40, but I never thought he belonged at 40. And I don't really see Andy going to 40. I mean, maybe later down if he could accomplish some stuff, but he's the size that he's going to be. He's not going to get any bigger. His bones only going to get a little bit denser, and I think he's going to be like a lifelong 35. Maybe he might touch 40, but that's going to be down the road.
Yeah, maybe for Keyshawn, like he'll go to 40 because I see Keyshawn staying at 42 for a minute.
Yo, I wanted to ask all you guys because I know we were mentioning about the amateurs, how Keyshawn and Cruz they fought a couple times in amateurs. I want to ask y'all at 140, Hitchens and Gary Antoine Russell they fought 4 times. I believe Gary Antoine Russell won all the matches in the amateurs. I wanted to ask y'all though, in the pros, do y'all see Hitchens and Gary Antoine Russell? How do y'all see that fight going? Because I think it's interesting. They got like the same dimension, same size, but different styles, and they got history too. And you got Brooklyn against DMV area, so it's kind of like to me, I want to see that fight at 140. If you just like boxing, I feel like that would be a treat for everybody.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see that too. I think it's going to look kind of like Puello and Gary. It's going to look a little bit like that, and it's just going to depend on if Gary stays disciplined because that's my guy. Gary is my guy. He was the boogeyman for a long time, but it's just something I see between him and Tio where they got that power. If you let him get on the inside, and Gary going to go to that body. If Hitchens let him break his distance, and he get on the inside, it'll get ugly. But Gary, he got a flaw when he's going in and when he's coming out, just like Tio. When they enter and exit, it's a defensive hole in their game. And I think with Hitchens, he ain't gonna be able to get in like that. Remember when it's just like Tio, even though there's 2 different stances between Gary Antoine and Tio. Gary Antoine is a southpaw, Tio is an orthodox. But when they go in, it's a hole in their game when they going in the inside. If Gary can seal that up, he might edge Hitchens because Hitchens going on the inside and going to his body. He's not used to people getting in, breaking his, his range. So I think it's a competitive fight, man. That's why I'm not sold on Hitchens going to 47 just yet. I think the IBF, it might be a little struggle for him. But I want to see him mix it up with the other 40s before, because I still want to see him against Subriel. I want to see Subriel and Gary. I want to see all them guys mix it up before Hitchens go to 47. And this is no hate against Devin. I just don't want him to go up there for Devin and get off the track, because there's other good fights there. He can go against Puello. He can go against the winner of Puello and Matias. He can go against Gary Antoine. He can go against Tio. His fights there at 40 where he's been. Exactly. And he won't have to be under that relaxation. He'll have all this power.
Now, here's where I was with it. For me, I would kind of, on looking at both of their last fights, I would kind of give the slight edge to Hitchens, because Hitchens' jab, that shit had me laughing my ass off last night, because it was just so accurate, and he just let it go. Like, what? Did you blink? Boom, hold that one.
Nah, he got a good jab.
You breathed out your nose? Take it again. You feel what I'm saying? So his jab was just amazing. Like, for me, that's going to be the thing that's going to be hard for Gary Antoine Russell to get around.
Yes.
Is Hitchens' active jab. Now, the flaw that you were saying that Tio and what's the name have, to me, it's like when they coming in, it's like a high guard at times, but it's a real lazy high guard that you can split or punch around. And even when they backing out, one hand is up and one hand is down, because they're expecting a certain punch that they may think that guy is going to throw. So you only defend in that one. If the guy just throws the other punch, you're going to get cracked on your way out. So this is the thing that for me, when they entering and exiting, it catches my eye. It's like, stop trying to anticipate what they're gonna do and just watch their body movement.
Nah, I respect
You're trying
that,
to put your ring IQ way above where it needs to be, instead of watching the opponent in front of you. But go ahead, bro.
100%. Now, I was gonna say, now with Hitchens, I ain't gonna lie, that jab was there the whole night. I ain't gonna lie, he was doing his thing. I definitely was happy because I bet it for the KO. I put 300 down, so you.
Oh wow!
You went out
a little bit. You can hear me?
So you made about 9 on that. You made about 9 off of that, didn't you?
Yeah, it was plus 225. I was mad because I knew it was going to be in the later rounds, because I know Hitchens, he's too patient. And I know it's going to take a little bit. And that's another thing, Kambosos, he's too predictable. So he already knew off the back, like, yo, what Devin did, I'm going to do better. He was already confident, you feel me? So I'm going to give him props for that, because that was a great win. And I love that he stopped it. But that's kind of a match that I already knew that's somebody that you got to perform. Like, you needed this performance, bro. This is a performance you needed for your career to get to future fights, to get to the fights that we talking about, like, let's say the Tio, the Devin Haney's, I don't know if he really want to fight Gary Antoine, because Gary, he does get in the inside a lot, bro. Like, he has to get in the inside. Gary is really he's not, I can't say he's the smallest 140, but he's not like the biggest me. He's like right in between, feel me? So he needs to get inside automatic, because his size, he already off disadvantages. And Richard, he's nice, but he's too patient sometimes. So all that movement, like Kambosos was good, but Kambosos was he flat-footed. Like, he gonna come forward, aggression, and that's it. Like, he ain't really had no rhythm then yesterday at all.
So boxing matters. Who you got at the top dog at 40 right now?
At 40, it's tough because any of them could lose to any of them, to be honest. I have to say,
right.
For real, like, all of that. Like, they all could lose, you feel me? So, but the top dogs, I say Subriel Matias. I ain't gonna lie. I put Gary Antoine. I put Tio in there. If they don't want that, you feel me? They gotta be beat. You gotta beat these niggas, you feel me? And I'll say for right now too, Richardson, like, you feel me? He's doing his thing right now. Now Puello nice too, but Puello, I don't know, that one with Gary, I was seeing him too. Like, if you look back at that Gary Antoine fight and the Puello Gary Antoine, if he was a little bit more patient and stepped back, he could have beat him. He just was too aggressive trying to get him out of there to like win the belt. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the game plan these fighters come with, man, because they all got boxing abilities. And that's another thing. They all know each other from the amateurs, and it plays a lot too. It plays a lot because there's certain things that people still going to have. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you know somebody, you got a certain type of confidence. It's like knowing the front. Like, imagine y'all play sport, y'all know somebody y'all play sport against, y'all grew up with. You're gonna have a certain type of confidence playing against them. I'm like, I know this nigga. You feel me?
All you gonna do is try to go to the left. And all I'm gonna do is smack that shit on the board, bro. I'm telling you, bro, you can't beat me.
And at 40, all these niggas know each other for real. All of them know each other.
That's why I asked. I said, look, I think this is just me. This is just my opinion. I think when Bill went out there, and T.O. Senior went out there, and they saw that performance, and the energy I got when T.O. said T.O. didn't seem too sure, because I thought they thought it was gonna be a little bit rougher than what he made it look like. They was looking like
T.O. was shocked, bro. T.O. was shocked. He was giddy, like, oh.
He didn't seem like he said, what do y'all, he asked the crowd, what do y'all want? Or like, do y'all want to see? But he didn't seem like, he didn't seem so bullish on it, you know what I'm saying, after that performance.
I don't think that fight will be next, but I do think they might, if they still got the belts like at 140 after their next fight, I think they'll line it up, because I know T.O. for sure trying to get out that top rank contract. And he was talking about some other shit, signing, fighting some other fighters. He talking about Boots at 150,
147. But Boots out the picture now. He moved on up like the Jefferson, so they could take that out. They could take that off. And I didn't want to see T.O. at welterweight anyway. I mean, his power, we could say his power. We haven't seen his power resonate since 35, really. I mean, he still got a little explosiveness because he got fast twitch, but I don't think he belongs at no welterweight right now anyway.
So what you think on Devin Haney, buddy?
I think that like, see, Devin got a set of skills. He is a good boxer. I just think that his confidence is not back. I don't think his confidence is back. I think that that he's been preying on people, man. I think he's been preying on older, smaller guys, man. It's just the resume shows it. So, he's had all the advantages, and over here we keep it a buck on. We like to see him, because these are the same criticisms that I had for Boots, some of the criticism I have for Shakur. Whereas when you really look at their resume, they have all the advantages over these guys that they're fighting. It's not mixed. And when they start fighting guys that's a little bit taller, a little bit longer, and the example would be, this would be the example. Everybody had Subriel Matias as the boogeyman, and they had Gary Antoine as the boogeyman. Puello, even though he had won a belt, he lost it because of that. Him and his lady were trying to have a baby, so he lost it. And then he get in there with Gary Antoine. Everybody thought Gary Antoine was just going to like stop Puello, but guess what? Some of those advantages was mixed up. Puello had the slightly better feet. Puello had the reach. He had the height. He can actually box. He got better defense. And so the fight, Gary didn't look so much as a monster, even though it was a very close fight. Very close fight. It's just Puello edged it. But we want to see these guys, when they go against people where they don't have all the advantages. And I think that Devin has been one of them guys that's been benefiting over fighting older guys, older, smaller guys. And we're not going to see who he really is until he get in there and mix it up with some of them guys where he's not bigger, where he's not taller, where he's not faster, where he don't have the better IQ.
Yeah, like me, I
respect that, Brody. That's a bit respect.
Since Devin was at 35 and he couldn't make the weight, this was way before I met Body and stuff like that. I was on other channels telling he need to go to 47. Just if you're gonna fuck around at 40, just get one fight in at 40 and then move up to 47. Restart your career. like do it from the mud at 47. Prove to people that right now you're in the one of the glamour division or the glamour division. You want to be that guy. You feel what I'm saying? 47 is where you're doing it. Looking at your dimensions, you ain't got no reason down that. For me, he didn't have no real reason to be down there at 35, and there definitely wasn't no real reason for him to hang out at 40 for me by the time he got up there. So I was just like, just go to 47, bro. There's some young guns up there that are really, get your chops wet and shit like that, and just do that.
Yo, Brian.
Now that he's at 47, you feel what I'm saying? You coming up to 47, and they treating you like you were the undisputed lineal champion from 140, and it's like, no. I would love to see Devin Haney and a Rohan Polanco.
That's a good fight.
You feel what I'm saying? I would love to see Devin Haney, in a lot of different fights at 47. But the issue is, you coming up there and they've already given you a mansion and a bed with silk sheets in it. So some of those tougher fights, you've inherited this carte blanche to, whereas we're not going to see that. And I'm real enough to understand, as a Devin Haney fan, I'm not going to see him in the tough fights that I originally thought I would get to see him at 47, if he would have went up to 47 earlier and just redid his career from the mud. You feel what I'm saying? Like a Jahad Tucker who jumped up to 160 and rebuilding his career like that.
Yeah, and that's just, again, bro, that's just different type of fighters, the way different fighters was managed. Not only Devin Haney, of course, because Top Rank do that with a lot of fighters. They manage their fighters, but there's just some fighters that they really manage the fuck out them. Like, we don't really know what type of fighters these niggas really are. Like with Shakur, I like his skill set. He do got decent defense. He do got defense.
Mm-hmm. Like Berlanga. Berlanga is a good example. Berlanga went on that knockout streak. I think it was like 19 or 22 knockouts, I think. And he got in with the boy from Laurel. He from Laurel, Maryland, right out here where I'm at. Where I graduated from Laurel High School. He fought Damon Nicholson and was taking the distance. Now, Damon Nicholson had like I think he had like a cancer scare. He was out of the ring. He was inactive. He wasn't even in tip-top shape. And I think he got that on late notice. He just had a basic skill set being from this area, just coming out of this area, just like them cats from Philly. If you come out of the area and you make it, you really made it, because, everybody, it's a lot of good boxers out here that don't make it. They either, be casualties of the streets or something happened in the gym. He ran up against a guy like that, and that guy took him the distance. And it's like we didn't really see. And we still kind of don't know who Berlanga is now. Like, we still kind of don't know. We know he can crack, right? We know that he got heart because he stayed in there with Canelo and he survived. He survived. But we're gonna see what he is coming up against Hamza Shiraz. But he's the perfect example of how Top Rank will matchmake you. And until we see you with these guys where you have, where the advantages are mixed, we don't really know what you are.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this. I'm also a big fan of Hamza. This fight with Berlanga's gonna let me know who Hamza is.
Hamza is, right?
If you know who you are, Berlanga's gonna knock you the fuck out, bro. So at the end of the day, for me, this is, that's a good fight, and this is what we do. Boxing Matters. It's, from the way you talk, this sounds like the channel for you. So I hope you subscribe and hit that notification and shit like that, so we could either see you more in the chats or definitely on the panel again, bro.
Yeah, man. Salute, man. Yeah, subscribe, man. It was good, man. Good little points, good little tidbits there.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, like we joke about it a lot. If you're listening on and stuff like that, we joke about it a lot. From your accent and shit like that, it sounds like you from the East Coast. So this is like the I-95 run. You got Philly, you got Brooklyn, New York, and you got the Bmore area. in Body Works. So this is the I-95 run, bro. So it's all gravy over here.
Mm-hmm. Well, what just to wrap it up, start wrapping it up. Did you see Zaquin Moses?
Oh yes, looked
What you
very
think?
very impressive.
Yeah.
Very very impressive. And what the don't tell me I dropped the. Let me see if I. Oh, this kid, bro. I just watched this kid. You heard of this kid, Keith Collin?
Keith Cologne.
Yeah, Keith Cologne.
Yeah, he nice. He nice.
Oh my god.
He nice.
Bro.
He got a mean streak. He nice. I saw he was a top. He was with Top Rank. I think he's from New Jersey too.
Yeah, bro. Keith Cologne. I watched this boy fight just out of, like last night or whatever. I caught it on. They got it on YouTube. Yo, this dude did a stab jab and then faked the stab jab and brought it right up to the top. I was like, oh my god, this little nigga nice. This little nigga nice as hell. Like, bro. And here's the thing: when I checked his box rec, his amateur career didn't look that good. You feel what I'm saying? He won just about as many fights as he lost, but he's one of those fighters that where people don't perform that well in the amateurs, but you make them a pro, they're a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? So, yo, I want to see more of this kid, bro. I definitely want to see more of this kid. Because I think he beats the shit out of every one of them little niggas that was on that undercard last night, from the Indian dude on down, bro.
Yeah, he nice. He got a mean streak. He don't play, man. He go in there with cruel intentions, man. He go in there wanting to do and inflict bodily harm, man. And he got the look. He got I think he Puerto Rican. Yeah, I think he Puerto Rican too. But yeah, he nice, man. I was been saying, man, keep putting him on, man, because yeah, he nice. At first glance, he nice. I want to see him continue to step up, but yeah, he got a high ceiling, man. If he stay focused and he keep doing this thing, man. He stay active, man. He do look nice. Keith Cologne. If you don't know who that is, look him up, man. He nice.
Yeah, look him up, bro. Like he just had a fight. I think Saturday night. It was on some alternative boxing thing like Pro Box or something like that. But the kid is nice. He got talent, and all they was doing was talking, giving him nothing but praise. So I think he's now 5-0. He's got 5 fights in. That's somebody I'm definitely gonna be looking for.
Now, another New Jersey guy in Ray Ford, he was out there and he got a fight with Kakasi. Kakasi is the one who actually stopped Joe Cordina. And I kind of got a vibe that Ford, because he was saying his first time, they offered it to him, he said no. He said he really didn't want to do it. He said because he didn't want to go back over there to Saudi. And he was like, man, basically he's looking at it like he just got to get this guy out the way. Now I'm gonna say it right now. If you go in there sleeping on Kakasi, he's gonna be getting up off the canvas, man. That dude from across the pond, when he dialed in, he's nice. You know what I'm saying? He's nice. I like the Casey, man. A lot of people might not know him, but that's what Ray Ford got on the docket. And he got to get that guy out the way in order to get a Sugar Nunez, because he's back on the scene. So and that was one of Tank's victims a long time ago. So that's what he got going on. And then that dude Terramona, I don't really know much about him. They kind of say how nice he is, but until he step up and I see him up against somebody, because Buddy went in there looking like he just left Shoney's, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's up with these dudes that look like they just left Shoney's, man, with pulling an all-nighter at Shoney's and shit, man.
Exactly, bro. But at the end of the day, I wanted to ask you your opinion on this, man. They want Frank Warren is talking about matching Moses Ntume with Dillian White.
Moses and Tume going to beat the shit out of Dillian White. He
I'm-
gonna
I'm-
spank him. He gonna spank him from pillar to post.
exactly.
That ain't gonna last.
I'm like, why? I mean, why do it? I'm like, what?
To get the name because they shouldn't, like, for me, I was saying this too. We know that the dude is nice, but I don't think they want to rush him, and that's a name. That's just gonna add to his fan base. So right now he's pulling a It's not quite what Bam is doing, but that would be a step into what Bam is doing.
Yeah.
Like where he's getting, even though Bam been straight veteran legacy type, you know what I'm saying? He's been getting them veteran legacy. So I think that's the next step in that. That's why it's just the name. But Dillian White ain't got nothing for no Moses until he's defensively responsible.
Like, bro,
he's too accurate. He's too powerful, man. He gonna get slapped silly.
Y'all could have put him in there with Justin Hooney, just coming off an impressive loss. You feel what I'm saying? So he was boxing Charles Wardley head off until he got caught. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know if they in talks for a rematch, but
Fabio,
Fabio Wardley. But for me, it's like if I was Moses and Tume, that'd be the dude I'd be trying to fight. To give him two victories to try to push him out the way.
But you know what Hooney gonna say? Hooney gonna be like, man, what's wrong? What's Bob like? Because he just got, you know what I'm saying? Like that'll be rough on Hooney because if he go down like that, that dude might, he
I
might.
don't think Moses and Tume beats Justin Hooney.
Huh?
I don't think Moses and Tume beats Hooney.
You don't?
Nah, bro, I don't. I think Hooney's boxing, his boxing ability to be a big man. He boxes like Lennox, like he looks like a Lennox Lewis type 2.0. I mean, it looks like when I look at Justin Hooney, all I see is classic dudes. You feel what I'm saying? All those great heavyweights from the 80s. That's who he looked like he studied. But it's just Fabio Wardley, his power is just an equalizer like a motherfucker, bro.
I think Moses got that equalizer too, but I think he's more accurate than Fabio, man. I think he's more accurate. So I mean that's a very dangerous fight, man.
I think maybe. So let me ask you this: so you think after that fight they may be looking at a Hooney or Fabio Wardley, or is that something they're gonna let cook when everybody get closer to being recognized for a belt?
I think he get Dillian White. He'll probably have another step up fight like a what's that guy that Dubois beat? I always forget this dude's name. They were going back and forth for a little while, and Dubois broke him down over time and stopped him in like the 8th or the 9th. It was like 2 fights ago. I could find it. I could find his name. I think he'll get a guy like that. Let me see.
I'm on BoxRec right now.
His name is.
It wasn't Joshua. You saying Herkovich or Miller?
Herkovich.
Oh, okay. So you think he'll get a Herkovich?
Yeah, like a Herkovich. I think Herkovich would be. I think that'll be a nice look. Because he got to rebuild and get back up, but he's been in there with some names. So I think a Herkovich would probably be a good. Well, in my opinion, I'm throwing darts, but I think a look like that after a Dillian White would be like a viable option. If he do that, he really ready for the big boys. But I definitely don't want them to rush Moses, man, because I think that kid is special, man. That kid, he came out of nowhere and he's special, man. In my opinion, I think it's rare to find that. He's so composed and he's so accurate, man. And the way he
made that nigga do the Superman thing and then hit the ground and spin, I was like, this boy got this different power. You feel what I'm saying? Like smack bark off a tree type power. But I'm just looking forward. like for me, I'm looking for uh for Hooney, Wardley, and then Toomey to like really mix it up. I don't really have what's the dude with the 1980s porn mustache dude? What the fuck is his name again?
Torres.
Yeah,
Richard Torres.
I don't really have Richard Torres in the mix of these guys because they, I think they may sleep Torres nice and early because he's a bit reckless and shit like that. And for some reason, whenever I look at him with that mustache, Ben Stiller, when he was in the movie Dodgeball and shit like that, that's what I keep seeing. Every time he punches and his hair moves and shit like that, I'm like, see, I can't pay attention to the dude because I keep thinking of Dodgeball. Nah, bro. You got to get rid of that shit. Get a low cut, either grow a beard or do something, but get rid of that weird-ass mustache and shit.
We'll see, for me, I know he's a, Olympian and all that. I just think that fight against Guido exposed a lot of his flaws. If you got any kind of reach, at heavyweight, it's dangerous to put your head down and just do that overhand shit. You will get, like, with somebody like a Toma, he will put you, like, you won't even know where you was at when you finally, because you can't put your head down and go and rush in like that, man. The first time you do that, you're gonna get obliterated. So I just think that it kind of exposed him as far as the longer arm guys, and he got a high motor. He might wear you down, but as far as technique, I think that was like he won. But did he win?
Yeah, he won.
Yeah, he won. But he won. But
it was an ugly win, bro.
Yeah, it was ugly.
When is this thing gonna be over? You feel what I'm saying? But for me, it's like all three of the guys that I just mentioned all have the uppercut to put him to sleep, and they like throwing the uppercut. So it's like you're not on their level yet. You got a lot of shit to polish up. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know who he trains or who he trains with to bring him there. You feel what I'm saying? To say, all right, you got shorter arms, you got fast feet, so if you could just throw an active jab with them feet, you could get on the inside and wear a person out instead of trying to rush in with your feet in a weird weak high guard with your head down. And when you think you're close enough, you're just gonna wing a punch, still with your head down. So he's got some work, bro. But it was great chopping it up with you, man. And on to the next one. I hope old boy definitely subscribed and hit that notice joint so he could get the notifications of when you go live and shit like that. Because he seems like a person who's right up your alley for what you do and what's being done over here. So, hopefully he'll show up.
Matters, man. He came on he came in on some G shit. Hope you subscribe. But yeah, good cook, AC, man. Like always, man.
Yeah, for sure. On to the next one,
man. Enjoy the rest of your Father's Day. The hour we got left.
You too, man. Same thing, man. And condolences and happy birthday to Mama Body Work.
Thank you, man.
All right, bro.
Yeah, man. It was a good night of fighting, man. Overall, the guys I was really looking for were Andy Cruz and Richardson Hitchens, man. I'm godly proud of Richardson Hitchens. I'm impressed by the growth of Andy Cruz, but put some respect on Richardson Hitchens' name, man. Now is not the time to try to pick his victory all apart, and just appreciate that we got a champion. He came up the hard way. Brooklyn's own. He repped New York City. He's living American dream. He just got his first $1 million paycheck, and he went through the ringer, man. He's really living the American dream. You got to respect that, man, and stop caping and capping for your favorite fighter, man. Give this man some respect. Give him his salutes. Appreciate him, because he's looking for all the smoke. He's seeking the smoke. A lot of people thought that he was ducking Subriel Matias, but again, that offer never came across. Him and Liam Paro were supposed to do an eliminator. They both decided to go their separate ways. Liam Paro doubled back. I think Eddie thought he had something with Liam Paro because of what Liam Paro did to Montana. And, you know, he wound up upsetting the apple cart with Subriel Matias, who's a certified killer. And Richardson Hitchens wound up going to go see Liam Paro and getting that strap. He actually stamped it but with a successful defense, which we haven't seen that as of late. Somebody win a belt and then, you know, defend it, you know, and he gets extra credit because it's the IBF with the rehydration, something that your favorite fighter will probably never do. Only people that were really holding down that IBF was Errol Spence when he first got his strap off Kell Brook. He was fighting under that. Then more recently, you had Boots. He was fighting under that. So he get extra credit. And you got Subriel Matias, who was fighting under that, who all won their straps and then defended them. Boots went on a Unify and he moved up. So, you know, I'm looking for Boots to come out. He's been radio silent here lately. I'm waiting to hear from him, even though we know his promotional company said, Eddie speaking on his behalf, said he moving up. I just found out that Richardson Hitchens, he said that was the completion of his contract, which he's in a great spot, man. I think he could probably call a couple more shots than what he really think, man. I just think that it might be a slight struggle with that IBF. But I think he can handle it because he's, like Coach Key pointed out, he's getting nothing but stronger. He was on weight way out. He got a nutritionist. And he did his thing at the end of the day. So I'm going to say salute to Richardson Hitchens, man. Enjoy your victory, man. Silence these haters. Live your best life. Get a little vacation in. Celebrate your victory and you know, in the spoils of war. And come back and you know, get a bigger fight. Keep putting people on notice, man. But 140 is lit. 147 is a lot of question marks. But just to let everybody know, this week we got Lorenzo Truck Simpson. He's actually fighting Jihad Tucker on Saturday, June the 21st. And that's a fight that I didn't never see coming. I think that these guys are going to get up for it. I think I don't know if this fight go the distance. You know, I think these guys kind of don't like each other. Jihad's been looking for a name. Lorenzo's been looking to get up out of the shadows from being just a GTD fighter, you know, bouncing around, you know, got a couple losses. He's 15-2. So that's what we got coming up this week is fight week on that part. But to everybody who came through, from Crush to AC to Koki to Boxing Matters, AB was in the comment section, Easily Baked, Cookie Monster, Lunatic came through. Let's see. We also had Boxeo Loco. He came through. We had a good, nice, packed house, man. I appreciate everybody who took their time to hop in. Don't forget to support the channel, man. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, the Cash App and the Super Chat, it does work, man. We put in work, man. We try to do right by these fighters, man. We not over here being messy and sloppy. We keep it all the way a buck, 10 times 10. So I try to put, you know, time and effort into my thumbnails, time and effort into my talking points and the content I actually bring. Don't just try to shoot from the hip. I try to come prepared. The basis of the channel is silence is consent, meaning that all it takes is for evil to prevail, for grown men and women to remain silent. So we speak to these things in real time. We don't try to be hindsight. You know, it might not always be popular. And we want all these boxers to win. We want them all to get big paydays. We want them all to have illustrious careers and be able to talk after fighting. You know what I'm saying? And have a life after boxing. So we try to treat the conversation responsibly. Remember, this is fruits and veggies, not that Reggie. Fact-based content, not opinion-based. Even though we have ours. Support the channel, man. Hit the like button for your boy. Hit the super chat for your boy. Hit the Cash App for your boy. You know what I'm saying? Let us know if you appreciate the channel. If you have any ideas, and whenever the link is out, anybody's even if you disagree, anybody can click that link. You know, it's for everybody. Man, he only had one fight, man. That was at 144, which was the catch weight, Koki. If we being honest. So we'll see, man. But anyways, man, I appreciate everybody, man. We had a good night of boxing, man. I hope you enjoy your Father's Day. If you're a father, if you're missing your father or didn't have a father, man, salute to you, man. And positive energy, positive vibes your way. You know, I hope everybody have a good work week. If you're going to work, if you work for yourself, hope your business thrives and you get more clients, you get more contracts, you know, and you just come up. But that's all I had. Till the next time. Thanks for choosing Bodywork Boxing. Well, we don't take things for face value. We do that body work.
He didn't want to box. He wanted to actually prove that he could punch with you. He was like, what the fuck is this nigga, Rex? Oh, okay, you want to go to sleep. You tired.
Welcome to Bodywork.